No sex, no drugs, no porn is what Sanskari Pahlaj Nihilani's Adarsh India looks like. He objected to James Bond's kiss. He banned the sex scenes in Lipstick Under My Burqa. He beeped out the cuss words in Urta Punjab. And he refused to give Aligarh an underage certificate because homosexuality makes him uncomfortable. The latest entrant in Pahlaj Nihilani's long list of censorships is Imtiaz Ali's long-awaited Jab Harry Met Sejal, that too for the use of the word intercourse.
अगर इसमें जो है बच्चे अगर माँ बाप से पूछे शाहरुख इज़ अ स्टार और दे आर क्लेमिंग दिस पिक्चर इज फैमिली पिक्चर, अगर फैमिली पिक्चर के हिसाब से बच्चे वो देखे जो क्लेम कर रहे हैं उसके अंदर ये शब्द हो तो डेफिनेटली चाइल्ड विल आस्क द क्वेश्चन.
Pahlaj Nihilani has set us a challenge, saying if enough Indians vote on Mirror now, saying that the word intercourse is acceptable, then he will let it stay in the film. He will allow the trailer to be aired without any cuts.
You should take the voting from the public and give the 1 lakh voting on this thing, and I will definitely see that this world is completely changed. India is going to be changed, and family wants their 12-year children can understand what is this word's meaning.
So we ask the censor board chief, what gives him the right to decide what is sanskari and what isn't? Who appointed Pahlaj Nihilani the head of the moral brigade? Vote for your right to decide what you should watch. Cast your votes on Mirror Now's Twitter handle. Mirror Now Report.
Good evening, viewers. This is the Urban Debate on Mirror Now. Thank you for joining us. We have an interesting discussion today. It's both amusing, but at the same time, I think it's a good point to have this conversation. So this is where we are. There is a film that will release in August, starring Shah Rukh Khan. They've released a couple of trailers online. One of them had the word intercourse in it. Now, there were some TV channels that picked up these trailers and ran them on the television as well. The censor board, or the board that certifies films, headed by this gentleman, turned around and said that the word intercourse is not acceptable, and because the trailer contains the word intercourse, it will not be given its universal certification. Without a universal certification, the trailer cannot run on television, and without a universal certification, you cannot allow children above the age of 12 into the movie theatre. The justification for it was this, that basically children will hear the word intercourse because Shah Rukh Khan is a big star. They'll ask their parents about it. What is intercourse? And Papa is not going to be able to answer that question. Should we really be telling children what is intercourse? So, the word intercourse has been beeped out. Now, to take it one step further, Mr. Nilani, who is the chairman of the board, has turned around and told us at Mirror Now that if we can get 1 lakh people to vote and to certify that yes, we think intercourse is not offensive and we don't mind it being in a film, that he will actually clear the film and the trailer. He's given us a challenge. Obviously, Mr. Nilani is so out of touch with reality. A, he doesn't realize that children of 12 years and above are on the internet and they know what intercourse means. B, he doesn't realize that intercourse involves consent, and it is something we must talk to our children about. He doesn't realize that intercourse is probably the most clinical, most respectful way to refer to the act of sex between two consenting adults. And finally, he doesn't realize the strength of the fan following of both Shah Rukh Khan and Anushka Sharma, who are the stars of this film, who will obviously vote against his decision. In the meantime, we've opened up our Twitter poll right now. We're going to put it on your screen. You can log on to our Twitter handle at Mirror Now. There's a poll there where you can vote and be one of the 1 lakh people who actually lend your shoulder to approving this film from the censor board right now. We're talking about how ridiculous this decision is and how even more laughable it is to open it up to voting. It shows that the board is completely out of touch. Joining me on the show this evening, T. Anil Kumar, board member of the Central Board of Film Certification. Nasir Abdullah is an actor. Mayank Shekhar is a film critic. Simi Chandok, editor-in-chief at Zoom TV. Rahul Solapugar is a popular actor from the Marathi film industry. Saban Verma is a film director. Sandeep Singh is an author. And Pandit Ajay Gautam, the founder of Hum hindu.com. There are various people calling in through the course of the show. The idea is to find out where we stand as a country and why intercourse is so offensive. I'm going to start with Mr. T. Anil Kumar of the Central Board of Film Certification. Mr. Anil Kumar, thank you for joining us. Please explain to us why the word intercourse offends the board so desperately.
So it is not the word intercourse which is offending the board as of now. I think you should be knowing it by now. The trailer of the movie is still not cleared by the censor board. And the media, which is having a media trial on this word and the movie, is basically relying on the social network digital format which has been released in. And as you know, officially UA is a certification which is given where the children can see the movie with parental guidance. So as of now in India, social media is open to anybody and everybody, as you rightly say. Anybody can open the internet and see whatever they want to. But as you rightly told in your introduction comment that the word intercourse, when two adults consent, there is no problem. We are totally with you in this. But if the movie has to be seen in television and in the houses, there is a set of guidelines which has been set by the Film Certification Board through the Act. So if it comes under the purview of the Act, the word can be cleared. If it's an adult movie, we will have no problem in clearing the word intercourse. You are very much right in that. But
Mr.
if it is a UA and it is going in the television, yes, there
okay, if it's a UA is going on television, it can't include the word intercourse.
Of censorship of the word because parental guidance is required, and in India we don't have a category where we can differentiate between 12 and 18. If it is after 14, as you rightly say, there is also education of youth in sex education in the children, agreed. But a 12-year-old even or a younger kid in the television
tell
in
me,
the
what
house
is the board stand on the word balatkar?
What is the meaning of it?
What is the board stand on the word balatkar?
The parents can shy away from it, but if they go to Google, they can know what it is. Yes, I agree with you, but anything which is cleared in television or in a movie has to be as per the Act. So we are not gone by the social media. Social media is free to use anything and everything.
Mr. Anil Kumar, if you can hear me,
I think what Mr. Nilani has told.
Yes, if you can hear me, sir, Mr. Nilani has given us a challenge saying get 1 lakh votes and I will change my mind. Is this the new format that the censor board is functioning on? Is it now a democracy? Can we vote and decide?
No. See, nobody, and I'll just explain you. Nobody is above the law, neither the board nor the chairman. The rules of this country is laid down by the parliament. So I think what he means is that adult, that is the parents, are okay with the word intercourse and they vote for it, and then the proposal has to go to the government and the government has to clear the movie. Neither the board nor the chairman can clear it just because voting has been done. I think I should make this point very clear to you people, but it's not the voting on the social media. It is what he has meant maybe through television, and parents and educated parents are going to say that we have no problem. Then there is a need of a revolution, and the revolution will be the law of the land which is laid in the parliament has to amend it and clear it. Otherwise gradations have to change where it's not UA and the content can come with a different grading where a 14-year-old can see the movie. Yes, then it can come through.
Okay, all right. Of course, let me just play this out for our viewers. This is Mr. Nilani's view on how we should vote. But also, let me remind you that Sanskari Nilani also made other such masterpieces like Sarkailio Khatiya and Tum Main Maal Gaadi Tu Dhakka Laga and Khada Hai, all of which we have seen on television right through the 80s and the 90s, but somehow the word intercourse, which involves consent between two adults, still offends him. I want to play this one more time for our entire panel, and then I'll open it up for the panel.
Adults.
This is what
you're making it very clear. It is with adults, not with children.
It is for. What about Khada Hai, sir? What is the censor board stand on that?
That is the past. You should ask people who have cleared it, not to the present committee.
No, because the person who made that film is now the chairperson of the censor board. The person who made that film is now the chairperson of the censor board. He also made films that said, "Main maal gaadi tu dhakka laga" and "Sarkailyo khatiya." You tell me now.
I am not here to talk about any personal movies, who has produced. You have asked me about the censor board, and I am talking to you as a member of the board.
Okay. Also tell me, as a member of the board, where does the board stand on the word balatkar?
See, balatkar, it depends on what context it is used and what is it's a UA or an adult movie. That's it. Otherwise, yes, it has to be told. Children have to be educated, as you rightly say, but there is an age and time where they can see it and understand it.
Okay, all right. So this is where we stand. I'm opening up the panel right now. This is where we stand. Children must be told what balatkar is, but intercourse of consenting adults? No. They're not old enough to find out about that. Simi Chandok.
I feel that Pahlaj Nilani has found...
Balatkar is something which is wrong, and the child has a right to defend. I'll make you stand clear. See, balatkar is a word which is used where the children are educated so that they're not exploited. But intercourse, as you rightly say, is among two adults who are consenting it, but not children. Please understand.
Okay, so basically, I think we have found. I think right now we have found the problem with our entire country. Simi Chandok, we tell young boys, what rape is on a regular basis. Through the 80s and the 90s, balatkar was a regular feature in all the films. We told everybody how to take what is not yours. But we refuse to tell people what consent is. We refuse to tell people that intercourse must happen between two consenting adults. And if you don't have two people's consent and you don't have two adults, it's not right. We don't want to talk about that. We want to constantly drum in the fact that people can take what is not theirs. Simi, this is outrageous.
I think this is sheer hypocrisy. Right now, if you look at schools, they have made sex education for children, mandatory and compulsory. So here on the one hand, the school is giving them sex education, and on the other hand, we have Mr. Pahlaj, who is like, I guess he's still in the 80s and the 70s, where he thinks like intercourse should be shown or, portrayed through two flowers there and, a fire burning or something, and that shows the passion and
tears from a peacock
represents intercourse. So I don't know which world he's living in.
We don't know which world he's living in. Nasir Abdullah, which world are we living in right now?
Okay, I want to go straight to the point. I understand. I actually enjoyed Mr. Nilhani's offer about the 1 lakh votes or something, which is very nice of him to do that. All it needs is a lakh of votes, and he'll be convinced, and he will withdraw the sanction. That is really, really great. The other thing is, I have a brilliant idea about this. Actually, intercourse is a very complicated, scientific, medical
word.
sort of, clinically a sounding word.
Yes.
So I would advise Imtiaz to use actually the exact translation of the word intercourse is actually sambhog. Now that sounds like a Bengali sweet dish. So they should use sambhog. All will be well, nicely and sweetly. And I'm not kidding. It is so nice on the tongue, sambhog, and like intercourse is like intercourse, intercities is so. That is one thing. The other is that
obviously the worry is your bache will say, "Ye kaun sa course hai? Mere ko bhi karna hai."
Yeah, the only thing is that for the Hindi-speaking boys and girls who would watch it, who would watch the film, they would actually want to find out what is the word, because they may not know the meaning. A lot of them, their English is not that good, but they will find out one way or the other. The youngsters can watch anything on the internet, be it blue, white, yellow, or indigo. So really, there is no point to get very worked up about this, that, we are doing our job, because ultimately they will do their job. So really speaking, I understand that the government wants to, to impose a sort of a sanction on the way we can express ourselves freely, etc. And Imtiaz is a very cool, nice a director. I haven't ever worked with him. I've only worked with him on an ad film. He didn't think I was any good for other stuff anyway, but he's a great guy and he's a very creative man. He should be allowed.
He should be allowed. He should be allowed.
Yeah.
Let me bring in other voices, though. Not everybody agrees with you. Rahul,
yes.
Rahul is a popular actor with the Marathi film industry. Yeah. He disagrees. Rahul, go ahead. You don't believe that we should be allowed to say the word intercourse around 12-year-old children. Would Sambhog suit you better?
Let me first raise.
Yes.
Let me first raise one question. What Madam was telling that we have started sex education in the school and the growing children are now getting ideas about all these things. Still, I feel that the aesthetics and beauty of India lies in the hidden things only. We are not like European and American countries and Western countries that everything is open here.
Have you been to Gujarat?
What Pahlaj Nehlani has raised the question is correct for me. We should not use such words where the family is going to see the film. Though it is open on internet, they will get everything, that is okay. But there are certain rules for censorship, and according to rule, they have objected all these things. On internet, people can see everything on channels and other things where film is to be shown by whole family, they are sitting together. The words which may create a different kind of curiosity in the mind of young people or kids, it should be avoided. That is what I feel.
Mr. Rao, the only thing I want to say is it's about obscenity. If intercourse is an obscene word, then I say remove it. But it's not an obscene word.
It's not an obscene word.
It is a technical, clinical word, sir. If there is some obscene gali, you know, they say all these marketing.
I got it.
But bad words, obscene words are a problem. That's what I think.
Do you want to raise more curiosity in kids' mind?
Sorry, I have to make 3 points, One is that, wish to the censor board itself with Mr. Pahlaj Nehlani, if intercourse is such a bad word he finds, then how did he clear the movie's bank chores promo? No, I find it ashamed to sit and see that, and the promo is running, and I think the feminists of this country should object to it, It's concerned slang used to, dragging your sister.
Yes.
And if he can clear that, how can intercourse be an issue? The second point I want to raise is that this is a very regular feature with Mr. Pahlaj Nehlani. Then why not a producer drags him to court and sort it for once and all? I find it often as a citizen of this country that all are hand in glove. It gives them free publicity.
I want to bring
third last point.
Yes, go ahead.
Is that for the people who want that, it should be sex should be everywhere. Then it's all available on the web. Why we need it in all the movies, all everywhere? Sex on my face. Right. So as a citizen, I'm confused. He clears bank chores promo. It's an everyday issue. Every week we hear, but producers don't drag him to court. So what's happening? And
let's be honest about the film history of Mr. Nehlani himself. The kind of films he has made in the past. It's complete hypocrisy that today he sits in judgment of other people. And I think it's worse. And I want to bring in Mayank Shekhar at this point. Mayank, we all know that there are massive teams of people who work on films. Hundreds of people, crores of rupees are invested in films, and to turn around and say, get me 1 lakh votes and I'll change my mind, trivializes all of it. It's just the ridiculous way of functioning, and I think that it's completely laughable at this point.
Well, Faye, firstly, this broadcast of yours, this particular discussion has been going on for almost 25 minutes, I think. And if you just sat down and counted the number of times we've used the word intercourse, clearly there are lots of children watching this TV channel also. Now, the larger point is, we have no such CBFC for television, no such CBFC for internet. Then what is it about films that are being viewed on the big screen or perhaps on television that there needs to be a Mr. Nehlani and a board of God knows how many members who will decide whether a word intercourse that I've said all over again can be used in a film or not? I think it's ridiculous to begin with. I think the basic format of why we need to censor films in itself needs to be looked at. The gentleman before me, he mentioned about how Mr. Nehlani is not dragged to court. I think he has been dragged to court. The court has pulled him up in the past, and he continues to say the most absurd things and get away with it week after week. It's almost becoming a joke, and I think the pinnacle of that joke was really what he told your channel today, which is the fact that you get 1 lakh votes and he will clear that particular word. And of course he was kidding, but I think that it reveals a much larger mindset of a completely power-drunk megalomaniac who is running running this show as if it's his personal fiefdom, as if he gets to decide personally what the entire country can watch or cannot watch. There was never the basis of CBFC, which is basically a Central Board of Film Certification, and which is supposed to have very regular people from regular walks of life as members, in the same way that there is jury duty in the US. When of course we don't have jury duty in the Indian judicial system right now, but that is the basis of it. It's supposed to comprise normal citizens. So I think these things need to be looked at. It's not that the government has not looked into it in the past. I mean, they did, make this Sham Benegal committee that was supposed to be very progressive. God knows what happened to that report. The minister changed, and that's it. We are still stuck with Mr. Neelani, and week after week, all we're doing is discussing some joke or the other that he comes up with, because that joke is really on the regular public, and it's certainly a joke on the creators of entertainment besides the consumers as well.
Absolutely. And, we have Supran Verma, who's a film director. Mr. Verma, this is unfortunately what we always wind up talking about. Bollywood or the film industry in any language gets stuck having to bow down to, some sort of sanskari ideals. And I want to point out what Rahul said. He said, Indian culture keeps everything wrapped up. We're not the Western culture. But we're not. We're the country that wrote the Kama Sutra. We are the country that has over 1 billion people. This did not happen from tears of peacock's eyes.
I was actually going to say that to Mr. Rahul. I actually was going to say that to Mr. Rahul is this, that I don't think he understands Indian culture. What he's talking about is Victorian morals. Once we had the East India Company in our country, these guys brought in the entire Victorian moral code. In fact, certain sections of our constitution, which we borrowed from the British Constitution, have those moral codes, which are now antiquated even in the West. For example, whether it's Article 377. As far as, when he talked about we should keep the beauty of certain things, this should be kept hidden. Here's the thing, not just Kama Sutra, the whole concept of ghungat, which is to keep the idea of a woman's face hidden, came in only after the entire Mughal invasions, where women were picked up and raped, so the men kept their faces covered. It was not part of our culture. So I think it would be interesting if the Sanskari gentlemen at least took a peek in our history, understood what Indian culture is all about, before kind of becoming these guys who kind of become the leaders of what Indian culture is all about. And I really want to ask Mr. Anil Kumar, where he says that intercourse is not allowed. It needs to hear the word intercourse, you need a parent next to you. Where in the Cinematograph Act does it say intercourse is a bad word? I've read the whole act. It's also the context it is used in. What is disgusting about it? Here, and as Mayank rightly said, the internet is regulated. We live in a world which is much more modern, and the CBFC has been for years now, not just in Mr. Nilani's reign, for years now. It's an institution that belongs in the age of dinosaurs. And we all know what happened to dinosaurs. They are dead. Sadly for us, we are still, straddled with a few of them. And as one gentleman said that why can't we go to court? Here's the thing, producers are held to ransom every time. When you have 100 crores riding on a film and you have to release it, which you have taken money and interest, you really can't afford to spend more money spending on interest. So these guys hold a gun to your head.
No, you have the association. It's a very regular phenomena. I'm not against, the producers. I'm saying as a citizen, I think why it's happening every fortnight or every month. But one more point, coming to when you said that, when we showed only flowers, we became 1 billion. If you show all this, what will happen to us? So on second thoughts, maybe Nilani is right.
No, but I think that one of the things that was just pointed out.
I'm really curious.
Yes.
What will happen to us? Tell me, at what age did you realize about sex and what happened to you? At what age did your friends realize about the whole concept of sex and what happened to you? Seriously? Are we that stupid a country that we can't handle sex? Honestly, we keep covering it up, and we are a nation where a rape happens every single day.
Every hour.
Giving people sex education, instead of people understand the concept of consent and non-consent, we keep hiding it all the time. It's ridiculous.
And just to take what Supra Verma said, the Cinematographers Act was written in 1952. It was written in it's archaic, it's outdated.
The rapes in India compared to other countries.
I'm sorry.
Why it is happening then?
What was that, Rahul? What did you say about rape?
The cases of rapes and other things happening in India, the ratio, if we see, what is the point? Why it is happening then? Because
it is
they are
happening.
not educated
It is
about all this thing.
happening
And that is
because
the main
our
question.
films have taught boys to rape since the early
When you
80s.
repress-
We
when
have
you
not
repress
taught consent.
people,
We have taught
when you make it-
balatkar. That is all we have taught. And instead of teaching people consent, instead of teaching people that you need to have a woman's consent, we keep teaching people that it's okay to grope, it's okay to chase, it's okay to eve tease, it's okay to rape, it's okay to take what is not yours. And that is the problem. What we are talking about tonight is the fundamental problem we have in this country. We refuse to talk about consent. We refuse to talk about the fact that you need to have two adults who are both consenting in order to have intercourse. I said it. If you're not going to say it in your films, I'll say it here on the channel. A woman has to say yes. So no, don't allow balatkar, allow intercourse. Allow the fact that a woman needs to be happy, she needs to be consenting, she needs to be comfortable. And that's what this film is actually talking about. Your narrow-minded thinking of what sanskar is outdated. We don't want it anymore. Anyone who wants to rebut me, please feel free.
I mean, it's also disgusting that we right now have a law which makes marital rape legal. I mean, consent is the most important thing. A word like intercourse, by hiding it under the bed and saying that people shouldn't talk about it, I think you guys really need to have a, checkup.
Pandit Ajay Gautam, founder of humhindu.com. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, Ajay Gautam.
Rudy knows him.
Pandit Ajay Gautam, can you hear me?
I hope not.
Ma'am, I'm not an English speaking person like other fellow panelists.
हाँ तो आप हिंदी में बोलिए, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, हिंदी में बोल दीजिए.
And हाँ, yeah, do you hear me?
हाँ, आपकी आवाज हम तक आ रही है, आप बोलिए.
आपको आवाज आ रही है डिसूजा जी?
जी, आप बोलिए.
हाँ, नहीं, मैं आपसे सिर्फ इतना कह रहा हूँ, पिछले 35 मिनट से जी पिछले 35 मिनट से लगातार आप पहलाज निहलानी जी को टारगेट कर रही हैं, हिट कर रही हैं by stating that sanskari. You are using this word sanskari number of times in this program. This is an offense to become a sanskari. संस्कारी होना, हेरिटेज वैल्यूज की को रिस्पेक्ट करना इस कंट्री में, इस कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में ऑफेंस है, पहली बात. और सुप्रीम कोर्ट की एक जजमेंट में आपको बता रहा हूं, जितने फेलो पैनलिस्ट है, एस्टीम फेलो पैनलिस्ट सुनने, इन द मैटर ऑफ रंगराजम वर्सेस जगजीवन राम, साइटेशन. अब सुन लीजिए ना, अब आप ये मत कहना कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट है वो रेडिकुलस है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जो ऑर्डर पास किए हैं वो रेडिकुलस है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में जो जजेस बैठे हैं दे आर आउट ऑफ माइंड. प्लीज सुन तो लीजिए ना, मैंने 35 मिनट से आप सबको सुना, आप मुझे 1 मिनट भी नहीं बोलने दे रहे.
हाँ बोलिए ना.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जब ये मैटर डिसाइड किया, साइटेशन 1989/2 SCC 574 has held that the standard to be applied by the board of the courts for judging the film should be that an ordinary man of common sense and prudence, and not that of an out of the ordinary and hypersensitive man. We, however, wish to add a word more. The censor board should be exercise considerable circumstances on movies affecting the morality or decency of the people and cultural heritage of the country. ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट की जजमेंट है जो मैंने आपको बताई है एक साइटेशन के साथ. और दूसरा थोड़ा सा और आप लोगों को एजुकेट कर दूं, जो शायद मिस्टर सिंह को बताना चाहिए था, नहीं बताया. सिने फोटोग्राफी एक्ट का जो सेक्शन 5B है उसके अंदर कुछ गाइडलाइंस बनी हुई हैं, और जो गाइडलाइंस हैं वो क्लियरली कहती है कि द मीडियम ऑफ द फिल्म रिमेन्स रिस्पॉन्सिबल एंड सेंसिटिव टू द वैल्यूज एंड स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ द सोसाइटी.
ठीक है. पंडित अजय गौतम ये जवाब दे दीजिए. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, द रीजन व्हाई वी कॉल हिम संस्कारी is because he has constantly referred to Indian sanskars when he has cut through films. Also, पंडित अजय गौतम, हाँ, ठीक है. सुन लिया. अभी आप मुझे बता दीजिए, जो हम अपनी स्क्रीन पे चला रहे हैं, ग्रैंड मस्ती करके एक फिल्म रिलीज हुई थी. हाँ, ग्रैंड मस्ती करके एक फिल्म रिलीज हुई थी. सरकाइलियों कटिया करके एक सॉन्ग रिलीज हुई थी जो मिस्टर निहलानी ने खुद बनाया. उसके बाद तू मालगाड़ी ड्राइवर मैं हूँ, ये ऐसा फिल्म बनाया उन्होंने खड़ा है करके. अंदाज फिल्म में एक गाना है जो उन्होंने ही बनाया. तो ये कौन सी संस्कार है, बताइए मुझे, ये कौन सी संस्कार है? आप अपनी स्क्रीन पे देख लीजिए. ये इन्हीं के फिल्म के, निहलानी जी की फिल्म के सरकारियों खटिया, आपको याद है 90s में रिलीज हुई थी।
By word to word?
90s।
May I reply by
जी,
word to word, dot
मैं
to dot,
मालगाड़ी
sentence to
तो धक्का
sentence?
लगा।
मैं आपकी तीनों बात का रिप्लाई,
हाँ दे दीजिए।
तीनों बात का रिप्लाई कर देता हूँ। रही बात मुझे एक बात बताइए, क्या जो हमारा जो कल्चर है उसके अंदर जब बच्चे खेलते थे तो उसके अंदर एक खेल होता था, नहीं होता था, जिसके अंदर बच्चे एक के पीछे एक चल के वो एक गाना गाते हुए चलते थे कि भाई आई रेलगाड़ी, ये अब ये और दूसरी बात आपने कहा खड़ा है मैडम,
मालगाड़ी है,
माइंड सेट
क्या
खड़ा है, एक पर्सन खड़ा है, एक कैरेक्टर खड़ा है या कुछ और खड़ा है, ये सोचने वाले की दिमागी जो मेंटल
censoring our movies and deciding what is good and bad are kind of out of touch with a lot of things that have changed, and he does not know, if he cannot understand what malgadi means. It just says that including
so basically this sort of sexual innuendo, this sort of disrespectful innuendo towards women is okay. Intercourse, which is an English word that involves consent of women, is not okay.
You are
just taking offense because it's an English word, Mr.
We are all products of intercourse.
Yes.
And we can't get that.
और जैसे हमारे पैनल पे बताया गया कि संभोग चलेगा।
हम सब जो है संभोग के नतीजे हैं, तो उसमें क्या ऐसी मुसीबत आ रही है, उसमें क्या ऑब्सीन है, मुझे ये बता दें। अश्लीलता क्या है, शोधापन जिसे उर्दू में कहते हैं, अश्लीलतापन क्या है इसमें, संभोग में अश्लीलतापन क्या है, मुझे बता दीजिए, तो मैं भी थोड़ा बहुत मैं सीख लूंगा। अजय गौतम जी, मेरी आपसे मुलाकातें हुई हैं 2-3 बार, अब ऐसे ही आपस में बातचीत ऐसे करते रहेंगे ताकि आप मुझे ना सुन पाएं, मैं आपको ना सुन पाऊं, लेकिन संभोग में कोई भी अश्लीलता हो तो मुझे पहले बता दीजिए, हमारी जनता को बता दीजिए, और चिल्लाइए मत, अपना प्यार से बता दीजिए।
हाँ,
मैंने तो 35 मिनट सुना है सर।
मैं तो संदेश की तरह देखता हूँ, संदेश, संभोग, it's like sweet meat.
शब्द में अश्लीलता है कि नहीं ये बात नहीं है,
प्यार से बताया मैंने तो 35 मिनट आपको प्यार से सुना।
अश्लीलता है कि नहीं ये बात नहीं है,
बुरी बात।
अगर आपके घर का कोई पोता आपको पूछे कि ये क्या होता है तो आप क्या बताएंगे उसको?
बता दूंगा भैया, जो बताना है, ये तो नहीं बताऊंगा ना कि दूध वाला आया था, दूध वाला लेके आया था तुम्हें। अगर बहुत छोटा बच्चा हो तो नहीं बताते, लेकिन अगर
भारत में ऐसे लोग नहीं है अभी तक पूरे।
राहुल जी,
भारत बदल गया है,
आप प्लीज बताइए
विदेशी हमारे अंडर।
This is not Videshi. I want to understand at what age do you think it's fair to explain to children what Sambhog or intercourse really is?
सर, इस देश के अंदर 4 पीढ़ियां एक छत के नीचे रहती हैं।
संस्कार को आप जानते क्या हैं?
इस देश में 4 पीढ़ियां एक छत के नीचे रहती हैं।
हाँ, तो 4 पीढ़ियां हुए कैसे, बताइए मुझे, कहाँ से हुए वो 4 पीढ़ियां?
आप बोल क्या रहे हैं? आप सोच के बोल रहे हैं,
कर दीजिए, आपको इतना पता है तो
आप सोच के
आप बता दीजिए ना।
अच्छा, एक मिनट, आप लोग साथ में चिल्लाएंगे तो ऑडियंस को समझ में नहीं आएगा कि कौन क्या बोल रहा है।
के ठेकेदार बने पड़े हैं।
That is a fair point. I want to go back to Mr. T. Anil Kumar. I want to go back one second. I want to go back to T. Anil Kumar is a board member with the Central Board with the film certification. Mr. Anil Kumar.
And it is not your job.
Mr. Anil Kumar. Answer this question again. We've asked it once before. Nasir Abdullah has asked it once before. Sambhog versus intercourse. Are both of them just as offensive?
See, as per the act, adult movie can have your sambhog, can have your intercourse. There is no problem. If it has to come under the category in the existing UA, there is a restriction. The word cannot be allowed because it needs parental guidance. And a 12-year-old kid with the parental guidance, what Mr. Nalani means is whether the parents, not only of the modern India, but also of the rural India, are in a position to accept it, teach the children if they are asked this question, sitting in a house when they see it on the television or in the movie theater. Social media is free to use any word at any time. There is no restriction. But anything which is telecasted in a television or a movie theater has to fit into the guidelines. And as per the existing guidelines of today, it has to be in an adult. So if you make it an adult movie, the producer comes with the certification for an adult movie, he will get it. Sambhog or intercourse will be allowed. There is no problem. The problem is with the media, which is making a debate out of it, whether they want to use it in a UA or U or adult, the word intercourse. So it's always easy to sit in a television channel and debate what we can allow, what we cannot allow. But look at India as a vast country where people are living in A category, B category cities, also in C category cities. Whether these things are we have become so modern that today's parents will teach their children at the age of 12 or 8 who will come and ask this word, what is the meaning of it.
It is their economic status, ABC.
Sir, I agree. Mr. Anil, can you tell me how did you clear the bank chores promo?
No, I don't think an 8-year-old kid in this country will come and ask the father what is intercourse. No.
Mr. Anil, how did the censor board clear bank chores promo? Have you seen the promo?
Yes.
How did you clear it? You don't find it objectionable?
I have not seen the movie. I have not seen
the brilliant.
No, but what is your opinion while you're sitting here? We are telling you that there is a movie called Bank Chore, which has not gone into any censor trouble. So what is your opinion? It doesn't matter if you watch the movie or not. But what do you think of Bank Chore?
I just want to, just for the benefit of everybody, I want to play the interaction one more time, where the head of the certification board has challenged us as a channel to get 1 lakh votes of people to tell him that the word intercourse should not be used to reject a universal clearance for the film Jab Harry Met Sejal. Take a look at it.
टीवी को भी ज़रूरत होती है कि सर्टिफिकेट होना ज़रूरी है, इसलिए हम उनको सर्टिफिकेट देते हैं. अदर थिएटर के लिए जो होता है वो डिजिटल for theatres hota hai, for public exhibition. This is for especially certificate for the television. That means without the UA they cannot run the promo. अगर इसमें जो है बच्चे अगर माँ बाप से पूछे शाहरुख इज़ अ स्टार और दे आर क्लेमिंग दिस पिक्चर इज़ फैमिली पिक्चर, अगर फैमिली पिक्चर के हिसाब से बच्चे वो देखे जो क्लेम कर रहे हैं उसके अंदर ये शब्द हो तो डेफिनेटली child will ask the question. If the parent will not reply this, definitely they will go for Google and find out this. If you take the voting from the public, I will definitely promise you that I will clear this word on the picture also and promo also. I think you should take the voting from the public and give the 1 lakh voting on this thing, and I will definitely see that this world is completely changed. India is going to be changed, and family want their 12-year children can understand what is this word's meaning.
Well, that's the hypocrisy of it. And he's actually coming out and saying very clearly, for your benefit, Anil Kumar, if you heard him, I promise you, if you get 1 lakh votes, that I will clear the film and the trailer. So he obviously thinks that the rest of the members of the board have zero say. It's all about what he feels. He believes
the maximum what can be cleared is amendment of the act. Unless the act is amended, I don't think so he can clear the movie.
Well, he doesn't seem to think that. He said, if you heard him, he said, I promise. He said, I promise. And let's just...
The guidelines have to be issued.
He has promised. I'm sorry, but we've put it out there. It's on our Twitter handle. People are voting already. So if you're watching at home and you want to make your point, you can you can get onto that Twitter handle and you can vote. I also have at this point the maker of the film, that received a lot of cuts as well, who joins us. Mr. Kapoor, if you can hear me, you faced a fair amount of trouble from the censor board yourself, didn't you?
Yes, we were very shockingly surprised because we made a movie Fullu, and a movie has no profanity, no violence, no smoking, no alcohol. And the purpose was for educational and try to highlight unsung heroes of India. And Indian Censor Board had an objection to the movie, and we faced a lot of struggle to get a censor certificate for our trailer. And they gave initially a trailer adult certificate. You can watch a trailer online. There's nothing there. And then much of fight, we were able to get a US certificate. And Mr. Nehlani came out with a poster that saying that the Fullu movie's poster was an adult. In a poster, we're just showing a guy who's a successful, who was successful in his village and made those pads, and he's just enjoying, he's just lying on those pads. But Mr. Nehlani felt something as vulgar, so we did done a campaign on that. And you can see on my Facebook profile a lot of comments written on it, and a lot of women are protesting against that. There was no profanity, nothing vulgar in the poster. But somehow Mr. Nehlani, his mindset is that talking about menstruation is a topic without understanding that girls as young as 11-year-old have menstruation cycle, and moms talk them from age 9 or 10 because they expect that menstruation might be coming earlier. So how can this be an adult content whenever we know that nature is something is so natural, something is so pure, and the message was to break this taboo, and the same taboo Mr. Nehlani had in his own mindset. So that needs to be broken, and definitely he needs to understand that something that's natural, something so as pure as menstruation, it should be part of education school, and we have that part of education school.
So you know what, Simi, since you're the only other woman on this panel right now, here are the things that make the censor board uncomfortable. When women consent to intercourse or sex, when women say that, yes, we will consent and we're okay with it and we will enjoy it and we will be comfortable, it makes them very uncomfortable. When women menstruate, when we talk about periods and we talk about sanitary pads, it makes them uncomfortable. But look at the things that don't make them uncomfortable. मेरे 2 दूध की बड़ी-बड़ी फैक्ट्रीज हैं, मैं आज रात को आपको दिखाऊंगी. Cleared from a film called Grand Masti. I mean, there's other stuff. I really don't even want to read it because I can't read it. And you know,
I think it's sheer hypocrisy on Pahlaj Nehlani's part, and it also very clearly, shows that he is very ignorant about the reach of the internet and where all our readers have, our viewers have gone. There are 10-year-old children who are playing games on the internet, and they have access to everything. So it should not happen that some of our children from our country, in the name of culture, just get left behind and they don't know what's happening, while the rest of the world knows everything. So, when he's also challenging you to be able to get, 5 lakh votes or something, he's underestimating
1
the power
lakh
of
votes.
the internet.
He's underestimating Shah Rukh Khan. 1 lakh votes.
Yes, I want to say that as well. Shah Rukh Khan and Anushka have always known to
follow
play,
the rules.
Clean rules. And Shah Rukh has a daughter at home. Shah Rukh has a son at home, and then he has a baby son at home. So if he's okay with doing this, I'm sure he knows it's okay for children of that age.
It's just shocking to me. And, Anil Kumar, I want to point out to you that while Mr. Nehlani might think that he's alone in this and that he gets
Shah
to
Rukh is not aware of whether it is a UA or an adult movie in this. Let's not bring actors into this.
No. But if Shah Rukh has discussed the word intercourse in the movie, I'm sure he's okay with his daughter hearing that, correct?
So let's not bring Shah Rukh Khan into this issue.
How can we not bring Shah Rukh Khan into this? It's the hero who has mouthed those dialogues. What do you want us to do? Just keep talking about Pahlaj Nehlani? Every 15 days he gets his publicity and he feels like a hero?
Who's going to clear it.
What she means is that Shah Rukh is an upright guy. He will not do anything wrong in a movie that doesn't work.
Or a UA movie.
That's all.
And let me for for the benefit of our audience, tell you in what context, because one of the things that are going to be discussed is what is the context in which the word intercourse was used. In this, the lead, the lead actress Anushka says, "Agar hamare beech mein koi sexual relation hota hai, amounting to or not amounting to full intercourse, you are absolved of all legal charges." This is by definition consent. This is a woman saying yes. This is what it is. It is not balatkar. It is not forcing someone. It is not teasing someone. It is not grabbing someone. She's actually saying yes. So obviously she's saying yes is so uncomfortable. That'll be so difficult to explain to your 12-year-old son that you should wait for a woman to say yes.
Television, there is a problem about the word. Don't send a wrong message. As an adult movie, there is no problem.
Sir, I have a question.
What is the problem? I really want to know. Mr. Kumar, I really want to know.
It's the most natural thing that happens between animals, human beings, everybody.
What is your problem with the word intercourse?
Initially is the same one. What Anil Kumar is talking is correct, what I feel.
It is not a problem with the board, it is with the act. So it is not a problem
So
with the board.
change the act
has
and
made it very
That's what he's
clear
saying.
what is
But
what
every,
is in the
listen,
category of UA
even if there is
and
an
what
act,
the
people
category of
use their
word.
discretion.
If you
What
go
they are
through the
talking
act,
People
that
use
is
their
right.
discretion. Laws can be interpreted in their own ways. That's the beauty of a law. That's the beauty of law, that it can be interpreted to personal discretion.
So we should,
Nobody's a
we
Lakeer
should
Fakir here.
appreciate the law and follow
If there's
the
a
law
context which
of
is
this
correct,
land.
it can be passed. So let's
So
not
we
be
should
smug
follow
about the fact that we are the
interpretation
CBFC
of
board,
law has to
so
be
we'll
taken.
do what we want.
What you interpret may not be right, and what
You know, in
Yeah, so
fact,
interpretation has a personal interpretation. Sir, Mr.
number
Kumar, I
of
want to ask you
movies-
personally, do you see intercourse as a
Yes.
bad word?
earlier
Do you see intercourse? Do you see intercourse as a bad word? I just want to ask you, sir.
Yeah, good question.
Mr. Anil Kumar, I just
Ask
want
him
to
again.
ask you, do you think
it is not about
intercourse is a
good or
bad word?
It is where it is
Is
coming.
intercourse
Please
is a bad
understand,
word?
It is not. We are not discussing.
Of course it
Okay, so
is.
tell me
You are
something. Have
judging-
you seen
you are
And the
judging
money
this
not to
song
allocate
called
the
Gandhi
children.
Baat?
Why you are not understanding this
of a
thing?
billion people.
Have you seen, Mr. Anil Kumar, have you seen this song called Gandhi Baat?
People, you better have a take whether it's a good or a bad word.
Embarrassment for any father
You can't
or
just talk off the
One
cuff.
can guess.
Anil Kumar, have you seen a song called Gandhi Baat? Did it pass through the censor board? It was just released.
Ms. D'Souza, may I make a more point? Please allow me.
In a minute.
Just let him answer this question, Mr. Anil Kumar. There is a song called Gandhi Baat where it basically says, मैंने जब शराफत दिखाया तो तूने बोला हट मवाली. Bhav nahi diya, and then it goes on to say that basically if you show Sharafat, you won't get the girl, you need to take her by force. The song is called Gandhi Baat. Was it cleared by the censor board?
Have you seen this? What is your reaction on this? No.
Did you target
We are
this
talking
film
about
because
the
it
word
has a
intercourse,
superstar
let's
like
talk
Shah
about
Rukh
it.
Khan, and
I don't
it's
want to
very
debate the
easy to
discussion
make a
on
big
this is
media
allowed,
fuss
that is
about
not
it?
allowed, this was allowed by somebody, this was not allowed by somebody.
Did you target this film because of Shah
I
Rukh
didn't
Khan?
get you. What?
Let me say.
No way.
target
Nobody
of
has
their hand in
targeted this
glove.
movie. The media is making a trial out of it. The producer has
Please,
still not
please,
come
the
and
media is
started
making
the
no such thing.
justification
You
of this
have
promo.
this.
It
You
is
have.
media which is proactively doing this debate.
The media is
There
doing no
nothing
such thing.
between Shah Rukh
You
or the
have
producer, the
a
CBFC.
chairperson of your
It is a
board
media
who
which is
has
creating a
challenged the
trial
media.
out of it
Get me
before-
1 lakh votes,
before
and
it's
I
an
promise
issue.
you I will clear the film. Who does he think he is? Who does he think he is? He is making a media circus out of this. He
No,
is
he
making a
cannot.
media circus
See,
out of this.
he
Who
is
does he think he is? Where does he get off saying that get me 1 lakh votes and I will clear this film? He is holding an entire film.
And Mr.
The
Raj
actors,
Kumar, you really
the
think
producers,
media
the
circus is
spot
the come for
boys,
the
he's
show?
holding everyone
I
to
think you
ransom.
don't
They
need
have worked for
censorship
over a
here in
year
India.
because
He
he
will
on
be
his
here.
whim
You're talking-
thinks
The
that suddenly he's
recommendation has to
decided
go
to
to the
change the rules and
government.
with 1 lakh
The
votes he can change his mind.
recommendation has to
Who
go
does
to
he
the
think he
government.
is?
The government
Doesn't he have
has
to
to
follow the
decide
act?
and change
You
the
keep saying that there is an
guidelines
act,
of the
Mr. Anil Kumar.
The
You
board
keep saying that
cannot
there is an
change
act,
the
an archaic
act
act that was written in
There is a hidden thing
1952
that he is
that gives you
sure
all
about it,
kinds
that
of
he- they are
discretion.
not going to give
Doesn't he
votes
have to
more
follow
than
the
1
act?
lakh.
Who does he think he is? Is
Yes.
he above the law? Where
But
does he get off making statements like this?
If he's serious about the 1 lakh votes, what is
Nobody
the
is above the
problem
law
to
in
win the
this.
battle?
Nobody
He's not-
is
He will
above
get
the
1
law.
lakh
Neither
votes.
he nor
I mean,
any of
for
us in the board is
for
above the law.
word.
The law
No,
of the
but it's
land
not
will be
just this.
followed.
You know, the problem is I think Pahlaj
Nobody
Nilani
is above
has
the
been
law. I
very,
think
very
he is
orthodox and
cocksure
very
about one
narrow-minded
thing,
with his approach.
that they are
And
not
he has
going to
no
get 1 lakh
business to
votes.
always force his thinking on the rest of the country and the moviegoers. You know, he is a homophobic. He has a problem when homosexuality is, portrayed on in our films. He has a problem when somebody was chanting Hanuman Chalisas to scare a ghost away. I mean, doesn't every Indian think like that? That if there is a ghost, start praying and it'll go away. That's what we are all taught. He seems to have a problem with all of these things.
Well, I guess as a part of the publicity team, he picks
You know-
certain movies and makes issues out of it, but they are not.
Absolutely.
Where there's, this
And he's
song-
asking-
And when there is no
and
movie
this
to
time
Sir,
he's
when you
asking
don't
to
have
get
an
votes
answer,
also.
everything is part of
I mean, who is he
publicity.
to ask?
Then
Why
there
are
is
you
no
here
point
on
in
this show?
debating. If it
Why
is
are you here on the show? Are
part
you here for
of
publicity?
promotion.
This
Why are
movie,
you getting
this
so
was
worried?
already had gone viral.
It's very
This-
obvious,
This
It
promo
was
had
allowed
already
to
gone
make that
viral.
point.
It's
Who told
not
you it was
us
part
who
of
are bringing up
promotion?
the publicity.
You know,
Who told you
I
it was
have
part
to,
of
Actually
promotion?
investigated.
I've run out of time.
Producers should be
promote the
investigated
film.
with their hand in gloves with CBFC to make issues.
Okay, so see, I'll tell you what. We've run out of time. But the truth is that Mr. Nilani is a schoolyard bully. He's been given a little bit of power and he likes to use that power to bully people If right now Anil Kumar is telling me that there is an act and we have to all follow the act, and because of the act that this word is objectionable, then where does Mr. Nilani get off asking for 1 lakh votes, saying, give me 1 lakh votes, I will change my mind? Who are you to change your mind? You're part of a board. The board has to agree. The laws have to change. The rules have to change. He obviously thinks he's completely above any sort of rules. All of this power has gone to his head. He's a schoolyard bully. And what is obvious is that love and consent makes him uncomfortable. Whether that love is among two people of the same sex, whether that is about women who menstruate, let me tell Mr. Nilani, it happens to all women and it's perfectly normal. You should get used to it. Whether it's about women who consent to sex and enjoy it, he's so uncomfortable that young people in this country will be told that women can enjoy sex and that they must have consent and they must ask a woman's position and her consent before they do anything. My appeal to our audience is to actually get onto our Twitter page and vote. Let's get 1 lakh votes. Let's hold him to it. If he's going to be so obnoxious,
him, we'll get 5 lakhs vote and then he should give up
if he's going to be so obnoxious, let him now disregard the rest of his vote, the rest of his board, and go ahead and clear this film. And if he can't, he must leave immediately, because he obviously has no idea how to follow the rules.
I think we need to counter-challenge him and say, if we get 5 lakh votes or 2 lakh votes, you know what, he will resign from his position.
All right, let's start another poll saying how many votes or how many retweets do we have to get him out of that seat, because he's obviously a schoolyard bully who's let the power go to his head. Our poll is open on the channel, but we have to wrap up this discussion. Thanks for watching.